So some changes coming from vehicle fleet in the coming days, guys. I've actually traded in my Vitara after many years of owning nothing, in fact decades of owning nothing but Suzukis. Um, Great vehicles, I can't say enough about them. As you may or may not know, you can't buy Suzukis in Canada anymore. You can't buy them in America or Canada. Suzuki folded up shop in 2013, beginning of 2014, I think it was, if I cast my mind back. So you simply cannot buy one of their newer vehicles, and my vehicles are getting older and I need to renew my fleet. I can't continue to operate an aging fleet. It just doesn't make any sense economically anymore. I need to be able to get to work on a reliable basis. So that's one reason. Another reason I'm trading it in is it's kind of time to move forward a wee bit with my vehicles into another generation of vehicle type, shall we say. So I actually traded in my Vitara, and I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing here or not. I guess time will tell, but I actually traded it in on the 2013, not new by any stretch of the imagination, but new to me, 2013 Toyota Prius C, which is an Aqua in some other markets in the world. So I'm at the very bottom end of the learning curve when it comes to hybrid vehicles. You guys have heard me talking about trying to get myself educated in the subject matter of hybrid and electric vehicles. Lately I've bought a few books on the issue leading up to the purchase of this Prius. So yeah, I'll just show you briefly a couple of things. That's going to be basically an introduction into the Prius. I bought it as is, so I've got a wee bit of work to do on the vehicle before I'm going to get it certified, fit for the road. Not much, a few minor things, brakes, tires, you know, the usual nonsense in a used car. But there's a few things right off the hop I've noticed that I'm going to have to deal with, that maybe I'll just give you a rough idea of what I'm up against here. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but whenever I buy a new vehicle, the first thing I do is buy myself the shop manual for it, right? So I've bought the manual, PDF format, and look at that, 8,348 pages of material. And I thought, well, clearly this is in multiple languages, you know, Spanish, German, French, multiple languages. And nope, this entire manual is in English. 8,000 and change pages of material. Now, clearly, I don't need to know 8,000 pages and change of material, but there is thousands of pages of material in here of stuff that I'm not that familiar with, right? Starting with the drive system, right? It's 1.5 liter, as I said, internal combustion engine, coupled with the hybrid drive system, electric motor generators, of course, the battery system itself, even the air conditioning system has a compressor which is electrically driven. It has its own inverter, completely different electric power steering. I've never had a car with electric power steering. Now I realize that's no new to some of you guys, but it's brand new to me. Even the SX4 in some markets came with the electric power steering, but not in the Canadian market, so that system's new to me. It has a CVT transmission, brand new to me, don't know a thing about it. Regenerative braking, don't know a thing about it, all new to me. So in the coming months ahead, guys, there will be undoubtedly quite a bit of material on the Prius, and I'm going to try and format it that as I learn it, I'm on day one here with this manual, right? I'm not pretending to be an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but if any of you guys are interested in coming along for the the learning process as I try to learn this stuff and figure it out, and I'll try and pass it on when I try and make some sense of the manual and correlate it with what's going on in the car. If I can do that, if that interests anybody out there, so much the better, right? I also understand that since I'm dropping the Vitara from the fleet, any of you guys who have subscribed in the past or even currently who are going to drop the subscription from the channel, all I can say is thanks for sticking around up to this point, and I totally understand, no hard feelings. The Vitara is a great vehicle, and if you want a, go look elsewhere for the information, I totally understand that. I would potentially do the same thing, so no hard feelings, as I said. So yeah, so a lot of this material in the future, guys. I hooked up my scan tool, my hotel. I took it with me when I actually bought the car, just thinking I was hook it up and just check to see if there's any DTCs hiding in the background anywhere. Well, that turned out to be pretty fruitless. I'll demonstrate that, I guess, in the coming days. That the hotel didn't seem to be up for the job. However, most of you guys know that I do have a VPECer on my laptop here, obviously, and I was disappointed to see that when you go under the models, there's no Prius. However, I did come to the realization that, as I said, in some markets, the Prius is actually known as the Aqua, right? So there is an Aqua capacity in here. It's the same car. Whether or not it's going to function on a Canadian model, I don't know, but we'll find out. And yeah, there's tons of functions on here on the function list, guys. I don't know. I'll just briefly go through it, and you can see for yourself. A lot of the stuff is pretty, I have some notion of what's going on, obviously, with the airbags, the secondary restraint system, immobilizer, cruise control, some idea of the air conditioning, although, as I mentioned, the architecture for the system is completely different. It's radically different from a traditional, belt-driven, crankshaft belt-driven clutch compressor system. It's really radically different from that in architecture, but we'll see if we can come to terms with that. The combination meter and the body control module. D-door, I have no idea what they mean by that, D-door, but I guess I'll find out. Theft deterrent is straightforward. Lots of stuff here on the engine that I don't quite follow. I'm not sure this is the correct engine type. As far as I know, it's only available with a 1.5 liter, so I'll have to verify that, but I don't know. This makes no sense to me. A DPF filter, a diesel particulate filter issue on a gasoline engine, that makes no sense to me, that line. But this is the VPECer. I wouldn't call this exactly a premier scan tool by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, there's tons of stuff in here. Again, electric power steering there, EMPS, electromechanical power steering. I don't know what that stands for, to be quite honest, but I know that as the electric power steering. The acronym I do not know. Yeah, a lot of different stuff here. Hybrid control, look at all this detail here. Man, I've got a lot to learn. And that is part of the reason why I actually bought this car, to be quite honest, guys. I like learning by doing stuff, and that's why I bought this car. This is not a car, by the way, it's just a stock image. That's part of the reason why I bought this vehicle, because it will force me to learn some of this material, and I find it enjoyable to learn this kind of stuff. But if you have something in front of you, as opposed to just reading the material in the textbook, for me it sinks it in that much better. And if I can translate it into a wee YouTube video or two in the future, if you can learn something from it, again, so much the better. As I said, guys, anybody who wants to bail because the Vitara is leaving the fleet, no worries, I understand, and thanks for your subscription up till now. So I'll leave it at that, boys. That's long enough. I've dragged this out simply looking at a computer, but I just wanted to be clear, there will be a slight direction change on the channel, although I'm the same guy. There's no difference there. If you were tuning in for my annoying nasally voice, that's not going anywhere.